つ新たな技を教えよう。
待ってました。
やっぱりやめるのだ。教えてやらないのだ。
I needed that. Man, was today a crazy day. I'm having a nice cold Ebis beer. Got the guy with the fish and the fishing rod. Man, it was a crazy day today. I don't know where to begin. I couldn't upload anything yesterday because between the typhoon, which I'll get into, and everything else going on, today is my last day before orientation. I got class orientation tomorrow, and that's going to be out off campus actually. We're going to meet up at campus, but we're going to go out west, and I'll get into those details. But I needed this beer because it was a crazy house hunting day. So where do I start? So a typhoon hit yesterday. It was either going to go out west and miss Tokyo or hit it directly, and it hit directly. But it wasn't too bad. It just was an inconvenience. I mean, again, I've got this limited amount of time to do all this stuff, and take away a day now, and you can't do anything. So basically, all from the moment I woke up till about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, high winds, kind of like a mini hurricane, lots of rain, and basically stay indoors. And so I couldn't get anything done. I basically organized my paperwork, did some homework. We had some readings to do, so I did that. What was funny though was what happened after the typhoon. Now, I don't know about in other countries, but I do know in the US, people they clean up afterwards and they take care of stuff that's been blown around, or they let the city deal with it. But never have I seen such a coordinated response by residents in a town that I have in this area. So you got a typhoon, high winds, a lot of stuff flying around, and leaves and branches are everywhere. It literally, the moment the typhoon stopped, everyone comes out of their house and starts sweeping up, taking stuff, put it into bags. I went for a run afterwards, and it was like clockwork. People came out, they swept, they put the leaves in bags, the bags were neatly stacked, and then everyone went back into their home, and the streets looked as if nothing had happened. I was dumbfounded. It was really cool, but I thought what they did was awesome. So great work, Yokohama. Great work, Japan. It was impressive. I mean, the sense of community is really high. So the run was good. There was no updates on the house hunting yesterday. Basically, the guy I was saying was the guy I spoke to the day before, the 2 Nakano apartments that I liked. He said the owners seem positive. We're going to continue discussions, and as I need paperwork, I'll give it to you, or I'll request it. And so I said, fine, that's fine. And so this morning, today is Tuesday. No, sorry, yeah, Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. So I got up today, and I had to go finish opening up my bank account. I opened up my bank account at the Japanese post office. Why the post office, you may ask? Well, there's actually a pretty good reason. As it was explained to me, these Japan JP, you can see the JP up here. This Japan Yucho Ginko is a Japanese post office bank. Now, I won't give you all the details. I'm probably going to botch a lot of the details actually, but it's basically a post office bank account that you can take money out of the ATMs, just like any Citibank or Wachovia, Wells Fargo. It says, Japan Yucho on it, and you can take money out of your account. Why is this a convenience? Is because Japan, being very efficient and practical about a lot of things, as it was explained to me, in the countrysides, a lot of these bank post offices are kind of scattered around, but there aren't that many banks in those locations. So I guess someone had the bright idea saying, why don't we combine the two? If there's a post office, we'll throw a bank in there as well. And so I don't know if that evolved or not, but that's why there are these bank accounts with post offices. And because Japan is so bureaucratic and the scholarship I got is extremely bureaucratic, they said you must open up a Yucho post office account. Okay, so I opened it up, deposited 100 yen. That went over well. Again, thanks to the family member who's been wonderful so far. Couldn't have done it without their help. And after that, I went back over to Ueno, which it's on the eastern side of Tokyo, to go meet up with another realtor. And that's where things kind of went kind of south. And I don't know, similar experience to the first realtor, but I didn't get as good a feeling from this group of people. They were nice, but the customer service wasn't there. Example. So we went through 40 or 50 different properties, just like last time, one by one, saying which ones I liked, and then they called every single one by one, one at a time, to see if they would accept students and foreigners. And so when we went through all of that, it took them a longer time to do that. It seemed like they were juggling a lot more customers and they weren't giving me a lot of attention. We looked at those today, and she said, well, let's go look at your properties. Here are the 12 that they came back and said they accept students. So I said, sure, this is great. I'm going to look at all these properties. And I said, okay, this one from Koenji looks great, Western Tokyo. This one from Shinjuku is great, also Western Tokyo. And so I said, here are my top 3. Let's go look at them. And they said, oh, okay, let us call them again. Well, call them again. I thought we cleared this the other day when I sat down with you to see if it was okay. And I said, oh, we should double check. So apparently what that means, that we cleared it, it means we cleared it with the low level people, but the owner wasn't there. And so they called him, and lo and behold, the owner says you can't rent to gaijin, sorry, or students. It wasn't gaijin prejudice, it was student prejudice. And so pretty much my top 3 of that group wasn't available. And so the other 3 I looked at, one was in Takadanobaba, which is like a university town. The other one was in Asagaya. They were nice properties, but I don't know if I was lucky or what. But those first 2 that I saw in Nakano, well, I'll get to that. Those first 2 are the ones I really liked, and I hope I can get those, or one of those. And so what conclusion I reached at the end of today was put in an application for those 2, and that's what I've done. So I put in an application for both of those apartments, the ones in Nakano, and we'll see. As it's been explained to me, the procedure is about a week. They do their screening, and they may ask some different documents to be given in, but after that I should be able to get the apartment, and hopefully one of those come through. So I like one more than the other, but it's more expensive. So you have multiple costs for Japanese apartments. You have the rent and you have the move-in costs. For move-in costs, you have to give a gift or key money to the owner, and sometimes they waive that. You have to pay an agency fee, and sometimes they pay that on your behalf. These are the owners. And so for the apartment that I love, the new one, that's really great, unfortunately I have to pay 1 month key money or a gift. It's not a deposit, and 1 month agency fee to the guy who showed me around. So I got 2 months of rent. That's just a sunk cost. The other apartment, which is more flexible, they don't have that fee. So I could save, $1,500 to $2,000 depending on the situation. And the only downside is that it's north facing, doesn't get a lot of sunlight. So I might have to bite the bullet and do that. So we'll see. But alright, so tomorrow, like, what else is on my agenda? What do I got here? So why was I drinking beer today is because after all that stress, basically, with the 2 real estate agents, I'm doing orientation tomorrow, and that's taking up at least a week and a half, and I'm not going to have much time to look at apartments, so it's either now or never to find a place. And so I was running around all day today. I came back, I said, I just want to get out of the house for a bit. The weather's nice, let me go for a bike ride. And so if you don't know much about Japan, I think it's pretty similar elsewhere in Japan, but it's hilly. And so the host family I'm with, they said, well, we have a bike, you can borrow it. And I was like, that's great, I'll go for a bike ride. So I want to go down to the main station here. So I pull out, and I notice that the tires are flat. And God God, damn, is it difficult to go up a hill with flat tires. I've got my book bag and crap in my on my back, and it is not good. And so I go about a half mile, a mile, and I'm like, I can't do this. And so I call up the host family. I'm like, excuse me, can I come back and put some air in the tires? And the person, they say, just wait on, go to the Family Mart, which is a convenience store. I'll meet you there. I'm like, okay. So apparently she called one of her friends and got an air pump, bicycle pump for me, and we pumped it up, and I was ready to go. But unfortunately, and I'm very appreciative for that, but unfortunately the air didn't hold very well, and so I'm still driving the bike with the the tires pretty flat. And on the downhill sections, no problem. But going uphill, man, it was a pain in the neck. So I must have burned like 2,000 calories trying to navigate multiple. I don't know. It was probably a 4-mile, 3-mile ride there and back. One way. And so I was beat by the time I got here. So I bought this beer. But tomorrow, so I may have to cut this short. I've got about 6 minutes left. Tomorrow I got to catch the train at Alabadai Station around the corner here, and I'm going to be wearing my trusty mask here because I don't want to catch a cold. Apparently it's very crowded on the train during rush hour, which I haven't experienced yet. But if you know anything about Japan, you'll see a lot of these everywhere. These kind of medical masks. Don't be afraid if someone's wearing it. That doesn't mean they're carrying the plague. They're probably sick or worried about getting sick, but these things are great if you want to protect yourself. Especially, I just got off a plane less than a week ago, and I'm sure my immune system's pretty, it's depressed. So I'll slap one of these on, get on the train, and go over to the university orientation. And so get the train at about 7:15 or so. Get the express out to the university. Orientation starts at 8:50, and then we take a bus out west. I'll probably cut the tape short here. I'll talk a little bit about what the orientation is about, what we're going to be doing tomorrow, and what to expect. But basically, this is where we're going to be 2 days of just interacting with all the students, getting into like different team building activities, talking about our backgrounds, our passions, all that good stuff. And so stick around. I'll upload part 2. I'll talk about the orientation. Let me see here. I'll talk a little bit about what this means. I bought this at the Konbini. I don't know what it is, but it was $1, and it was in the alcohol section. So that should be fun. And all right, so stick around. See you for part 2.